Hey guys, it's Christine, also known as IvyWinter. Thanks for joining me for another Disney video. Today I'm going to be talking about two events that are coming up in the fall, and that is Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and Food and Wine in Epcot. And I want to talk about these two events because they're coming upon us really soon, and there are plenty of people who are going to be going for their first time and probably are really overwhelmed by both of these options. So I have been to both events about 3 times now, and I just wanted to share some of the tips and tricks that I have for when I've gone and how they've kind of helped me, as I went from the first time I ever went to my 3rd time, and hopefully in the future even more. So let's start with Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which is located in the Magic Kingdom. And this is a ticketed event, meaning you have to pay whatever the price is. I think it's somewhere around like $55, $60 per adult. I don't know the children's price, but it is for a evening party set on certain days of the week at the Magic Kingdom. If you are not going to this party, the Magic Kingdom on these days typically closes to the public around 7 p.m. So if you are not going to a party, you'll find that you'll probably be kicked out around that time, slowly and nicely in the way that Disney does, because the party, being a ticketed event, is supposed to be special for the people who opted to pay the money for it. So if you are going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, my first point of advice would be get your wristband early. So like I said, they start to close around 7 p.m., but you can pick up your wristbands if you are attending, I believe, about 2 hours or so ahead of time. They are at designated different locations around the park. All you have to do is show them your tickets for the night, and they will be able to give you a wristband that is going to indicate to all the cast members that you paid and deserve to be there for the night. Get those early before that 7 p.m. rush of maybe some people who are just coming for only the party, and you'll be good. You can just go off, ride your rides, and then when 7 p.m. hits and they start to usher people out, you're totally fine. One of the ways that they do start ushering people out is they need that wristband to let you on a ride. Even if you're just going standby, they need to see after that time, yes, okay, you paid and you're supposed to be here, and then they start to turn people away who don't have that wristband, which naturally inclines them to start leaving because they can't really ride anything or purchase anything or, go to restaurants or whatever it may be. So have those early so that once 7 o'clock hits, you can just keep riding the rides. You don't have to worry about stopping and finding someone to get one, and you'll be all set. If you're going to have a costume for the Halloween party, I suggest bringing it in a backpack ahead of time, especially if you're going to be in the parks early or like all day, and then change in the bathrooms right before the party. You can, if you want to, wear your costume all day, and some people do that, but that could be kind of uncomfortable depending on what your costume is. So to me, it's worth just having at least one person in your party bringing a bag where we can put everybody's costumes in there and then change in the bathrooms around 6:30 or so you can be in costume but don't have to be wearing it all day. Now, if you're just coming for only the party, then you don't have to worry about that, and you can probably change in your hotel. But if you are planning on spending the full day Magic Kingdom well into the party, then it really worked out for me personally when I didn't want to be dressed as Donald Duck all day. When the party has started, the first thing that you should consider doing is meeting characters if that's your MO. If you don't really care about characters, cool. But if you want to meet them in their special outfits, now is the time to just start hitting those characters and getting them out of the way. Those lines are only going to get longer as the night goes on. And take it from me, someone who is dressed as Donald and wanted to meet Donald, things happen that sometimes you can't meet your characters. In my case, there was a big storm and it rained, and they pulled Donald inside and then they pulled him back out, and then it rained again. And so both times I waited online and was unable to meet him. So if you can track the weather and try to go as soon as possible to meet characters and kind of knock that off your list, then you'll be free to enjoy the rest of the party. There are designated trick-or-treating areas in the parks, and yes, this goes for adults and children. You get a trick-or-treating bag, and you can just wait in line, you go through, and cast members are there to dump a handful of candy into your bag. There is no limit to how many times you can go around in this line. They do obviously try to only give so much in each turn because they want everyone to have, a decent amount of candy. But if you really wanted to, you could literally just keep going around in your line and get as much candy as you would like. So just remember, there is no limit. So if candy is your end game, feel free to spend all the hours there doing that. Another tip is now is the time to really hit some of the big e-ticket rides, especially if you didn't get to them earlier in the day, because since most of the public has been kicked out and this is a ticketed event, there are less people in the parks at this time. So you're going to find the waits for the mountains and like all of those bigger rides a lot shorter than they would have been during the day. So if you couldn't hit them earlier, or maybe you even want to plan to not hit them earlier and do other rides so that during the party you can hit them for a pretty minimal wait. Another ride I really suggest you do during the Halloween party is the Haunted Mansion. Why? Because the cast members are really done up in makeup, even more so than the regular, day-to-day cast members, and they really get into character. Not only that, but outside of the Haunted Mansion, they actually have these two ghost women. There's two names for them. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sure someone can give me those answers in the comments below. But they sit on the hill outside of the mansion, and when you're waiting in line, they just kind of converse with people and make jokes, and they are so funny. And it's super worth going just to enjoy that. It's also like 10 times more spooky when you're going for the Halloween party. I don't know how they do it, but they do it really well. So that is a huge plus, and I really, really recommend doing that. The Halloween party has its own parade and its own fireworks, and I believe that there are 2 instances of the parade during each party, but only 1 instance of the fireworks. This means definitely make your plans around the fireworks, but if you missed one parade, you can always catch the other. But the fireworks are definitely a must-see. They do this amazing 180 finale that I can't even explain. You have to just see in person. If you're a big Halloween person, you'll love it. If you're a big Nightmare Before Christmas fan, you'll love it because there's a lot of that music in it. And it's definitely very original and unique to the party. So if you are a fireworks person and maybe you've been a bunch and you're like, I'm a little tired of Wishes, don't miss Hallowishes, which is the Halloween version, because it's fantastic. Now moving on from that to Food and Wine at Epcot, which is free and part of your admission to Epcot. This is more of, I think, an adult-oriented event. Not to say that kids can't have a lot of fun too. They definitely do some interactive stuff with kids and learning about food and cooking, and that there's definitely plenty there for them to enjoy. I just think that the appeal of fine cuisine and obviously a good glass of wine appeals more towards adults, and so this feels like a more adult event, but by no means should it deter you from taking kids if you have kids or little cousins or whatever. I think they would definitely have fun as well. I just think that you'd appreciate it more as an adult, and if you're in a group of adults, this is a great time of year in October, September-ish to go and enjoy this. So the way that Food and Wine is set up is that in the countries, there are extra kiosks between every country that represent more countries. So the last time I was there, there was one for Dominican Republic, there was one for Australia, there was one for Ireland, all countries that aren't in the World Showcase currently, but they were able to build tents and have people from those countries there to cook the food, and the food is reminiscent of what they actually eat in each country. And along with that is wine and beer that comes from each country. And so these food servings are small. By no means are they a full meal, but the idea is that if you stop at a few along the way, you're definitely gonna have a full meal's worth and be full, and it's gonna be awesome. So you're definitely getting small portions. Your wine glasses are small, glasses of wine. They're not really a full glass. But I think the idea here is that because you're getting small portions of both, you have more of the ability, stamina, and room in your stomach to be able to try a few different things as you're going around the World Showcase. Now, this isn't the only thing that changes for Food and Wine, but it's the most obvious one, and it's the thing that I think attracts people the most. There are cooking classes and there are talks by world-renowned chefs that happen. Those can be anywhere from free to having to pay to get into them. And it's really important that you look at the Disney World website when Food and Wine is happening to make those purchases and see those schedules and see what you might be interested in. Some are wine tasting classes, some are actual cooking classes. They're all super interesting, and if that is something that's appealing to you, if you're a big foodie, if you love to cook, then you might really want to take some of those classes. What's also really important is definitely grab that pamphlet when you're coming into World Showcase that has where all of the different like little tents are and what food they have. It's going to make it really easy for you to know where you want to go and beeline for it without wandering around going, I wonder what Australia has. I wonder what New Zealand has. Maybe they have stuff you would never eat. It's a lot easier to check the menu and be like, this looks good, this looks good, this looks good. Have a bit of a plan and then tackle those. If you see something on your way that you want to stop for anyway, cool. But it's nice to kind of have a plan of where you want to go. What Disney also does, and now with the Magic Bands, it's a little bit easier, but you can buy tiny little gift cards that they put on like a little keychain, like one of those stretchy keychain rings. Keep it around your wrist. Put on as much money as you want, or as little money as you want to spend on food and wine, because let me tell you, you will spend a lot of money if you don't budget. So definitely budget yourself and then use that gift card to go around and just easily pay for everything that you want. Now with Magic Bands, you have the ability to pay so much easier, but the problem there is because it's connected just straight to a credit card, it's a lot harder to track your budget. So I still recommend getting that gift card, putting $20, $30, whatever it is you want to spend, and then using that up until you hit your budget, and then that's your cutoff. Because like I said, you can spend a ton and not even realize it. Lastly, check out the merchandise areas. There's specific special food and wine merchandise that you can buy during the event, and it's all really cool. A lot of it's cool mugs and aprons and pins and cookbooks and all sorts of interesting stuff. And on that note, the same for Not So Scary Halloween Party. They have party-specific pins, party-specific lanyards, and other sorts of merchandise that are special edition and that you can only get in that specific year for those parties during those parties. So if you are a collector, if you like special edition merch, definitely check out in both cases some of the stores because they will be carrying it everywhere. And don't let it fool you that because Food and Wine has a very specific area that they carry merchandise, that's the only area you can get it. You'll find that a lot of it's in Mouse Gears, which is over in Future World, and all the other different merchandise places will have a lot of that stuff. So if the line is crazy in that one designated Food and Wine merchandise area, check out the other stores. They should also be carrying a lot of that stuff there too. So that's it. Those are pretty much my tips for both. I personally love both. I think they are both very worth it. They are both some huge reasons of why I think October and fall in general is the best time of year to go. If you have other questions specifically for those two events, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to follow up with you and answer those questions. You can also tweet me at IvyWinterYT. And thanks again for watching another video. Hopefully I've helped you plan just a little bit more your future trip, hopefully in the fall. I will also be putting links below to any Food and Wine, DisneyWorld.com links, and anything else that will give you the details that you need in terms of kiosk and food and all that good stuff. Thanks again. I hope to see you guys soon for another Disney video. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.